Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus.
There's been.
Down.
Have you felt it?
Doom. I can hear it. I hear it.
Good.
What have we?
That's all I was worried about.
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and R2.
R2 asshole.
Hello there.
Looking. Found someone you have, I would say.
All right, you donglers.
May the force be with us.
There you go.
Hey.
Mediocre day, assholes. What's going on? My name is Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Rogue Squadron Podcast. We're testing shit out. We're trying to do this right now.
You'll notice if you're watching the video, or actually if you're hearing this, you might notice a little difference. This is our first remote episode ever. It only took us 3 light years to get things mother effing set up and rolling, but, you know, making it happen.
Yes.
From across the galaxy.
If you guys are checking us out for the first time, you definitely want to go over to RogueSquadronPodcast.com, where you can find all of our fanboy commentary, and that's where we do this shit while we listen and watch the movies. So,
most recently,
yeah,
it was Rogue One. We were a little late getting that one up there, but it is up now. Obviously, the most recent Star Wars movie, so check that out. Some pretty hilarious shit that we rambled on while we watched that, and then obviously, once The Last Jedi comes out, man, that's the next big thing on everyone's mind right now. Which we're gonna get into that shit later in this episode.
So what do we have coming up?
Oh, dude, so Entertainment Weekly last week did a whole spread about The Last Jedi stuff. And they did an article per day for 7 days about different characters. So there's a bunch of new pictures, a bunch of stuff from like Rian Johnson and Daisy Ridley about the characters and what we're going to expect. So we have a lot to go over.
Fantastic.
And we got to catch up on fucking Game of Thrones.
Also, fucking StarCraft came out, and I downloaded that, and it's glorious, as I expected.
You mentioned that you want to talk about that, but you need to elaborate because StarCraft has been out for a while, and StarCraft 2 has also been out for a while. So what StarCraft just came out?
It's the remastered original from like 1996. So
nice.
It's delicious, and all ready to play. It's only $15 too. So
nice.
I literally would have paid $30 for that. So they definitely missed out on some money. And I pre-ordered it through like Blizzard's piece of shit hosting system. I literally pre-ordered it I saw it on Facebook, pre-ordered it, and then when I tried to download it yesterday, they're like, yeah, your pre-order doesn't exist, bitch. I'm like, I definitely fucking paid for this. So I fought with them, and I finally dungled my way through it and figured it out. But it was definitely a pain in the ass to download.
Is Blizzard shit not on Steam or anything?
I don't know. I had to literally go through like, download their Blizzard app or whatever, and then download the game onto that Blizzard app. It was just, I've never dealt with that. It was like a separate Steam, but for Blizzard games.
I do not like Blizzard shit.
I don't know why. I mean, this is my first thing that was just like, fuck this. This is kind of confusing. I wish I could just went online and just said download, done.
Yeah. But, yeah, I have no reason for it. I just don't like Blizzard. Speaking of the StarCraft remaster, they are supposed to be bringing out an Age of Empires remaster. They announced it at E3, so Xbox is coming out with all the original Xbox stuff is backwards compatible, and they're coming out with a new Age of Empires that isn't only remastered, it's also going to be on Xbox. So I was
Age of Empires, I always floated between StarCraft and Age of Empires because they were like equal opposites. StarCraft was a much simpler game, and then Age of Empires, you could just kind of fuck around and do whatever you want.
Well, and also one was in space with aliens, and one was, ancient civilization.
There was a simplicity to StarCraft, though, because you only had 3 species you could be. It was like man, bugs, and like future beings, like they floated around. But they all had their benefits, and it was a very equal game. Like the bugs aren't very strong, but they reproduce so quickly that there's just 1,000 of them running around. And then the opposite was like the future species, the Protoss. It took forever to make one guy, but that guy was fucking strong.
Yeah.
So and then they equaled each other out, and it was a good game. So,
Nice.
But I mean, really, when I looked at it, and it was just a remastered digitally, I believe. It was, since it's a 20-year-old game, there's only so much they can do. So now it only looks 10 years old.
Right.
So, but it's like fun to play, and
Yeah.
I'd still spend another $15 on it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no announcement or news about the Age of Empires thing. I'm just checking, a few times a month until I can fucking get that shit on my Xbox and play again.
I still have the first two, and then like the Conquerors expansion for the second one.
Yeah.
And then I think I still have Age of Mythology, which threw a whole spin in it because you could build a Titan, and it was just like Godzilla running around stepping on humans. It was fucking ridiculous.
Like fucking Rampage meets Age of Empires.
Yes, exactly. Which, by the way, Rampage did not hold up at all.
No, you played it at the barcade a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. All you do is like hang on a building and punch people,
Yeah,
which is fun, but
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Dynasty Warriors. You just like run around and just mash buttons and kill as much things as you possibly can.
now I do remember way back in the day in like middle school when we used to have those roller rink dance party things. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, dude.
So
skating parties.
the only reason I went to the roller skate, all the road danks, the only reason I went was because they had a Rampage arcade game there. So I would tell my mom I'm gonna go hang out with a bunch of friends, and I ended up just standing there playing that fucking game.
I must have forgot about the Rampage I assume we went to the same rink because our schools were like right next door. But they had a Simpsons arcade game there too. I would always play the fucking Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah.
Not that I watch The Simpsons or care about The Simpsons, but I don't know. I just gravitated towards it for some reason.
No, that's a decent game. I think the platform of the game was exactly like TMNT. The arcade one, like the back in time one.
Right.
Forward in the past, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Forward into the past. Yeah, I think that's the right one.
That's the correct one. So,
oh shit, man. So you're caught up on Game of Thrones, is that correct?
I am correct game of caught ups.
Wait, we gotta step back a second. We have to drink our beer. So we're drinking for one of the first times. Stop with the bell, man.
Guys, it's time to drink. So I have to give a shout
announcement.
out. Yeah. So I was in Nova Scotia with a guy from work, and he said, "You got to buy something here." And he said, "I'll get you something small. What do you want?" I said, "I want a beer opener." And he found this one. He was a Mennonite guy, so he doesn't like drink or anything. But he found this one, and he started ringing it. He's like, "So everybody knows what time it is?" I'm like, "What time is it?" He's like, "Time to drink." I was just like, "Dude, you're fucking killing me." So,
That's awesome.
So now I use this bell from
I'm gonna have to do that.
Prince Edward Island, I believe, is where I got this. The PEI.
Pay.
PEI.
That's like the dangus of our episode. The beginning of our episode with the beer open. That's the signal. Everybody, crack your beers open.
Drink. All right.
Yeah,
So should I talk about my beer?
Make sure you have that bell next to you from every episode from here on out. Don't ring it again. Just once. It's fine.
It's not. I got to ring it every 2 minutes because I got to take a sip.
Every sip.
So should I introduce my beer?
Yeah, go for it.
So since we're not local anymore, I had to try to find something out my way, and it ended up being Yards Brewing. It's called the Brawler. It is. Let me look at it. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Let me tell you. Oh, we talked about this a little bit. A pugilist. It's like pugilist style
Yeah, you're trying
ale.
to figure out how to say it.
Pugilist, pugilist. It's some type of fuckingist style ale. It says superior taste, champion flavor, and it has a little boxer guy fighting the devil over here. So
Nice.
it's like I said, it's called the Brawler. Let's see,
Dig it.
Philadelphia. It's right out of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
And it's really low alcohol, I believe, 4.2%. But
Do you, whenever you hear the word Philadelphia, think of that quote from Big Daddy, like I do?
no, I have no clue what you're talking about.
With the little kid when they're trying to quiz him?
Philadelphia.
Whenever
Yeah,
someone says Philadelphia, I'm just like, Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
I do know
why.
Now that you said that, I know exactly what quote you're talking about.
Hip Hop Anonymous. So crack that shit open, man. You gonna pour it out?
I got to. Hold on.
What happened?
Your audio got kicked to my phone.
What?
Or to my default speakers.
We're getting fucking hacked by the Rebel Force. Boffins.
I mean, that's what I blame it on. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Oh, fuck. Let me just use a force.
Force try harder.
You want to record. You're going to do it. It's okay.
Pain fucking ass.
Oh, wow. You sound a lot better now. You just changed something.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You must not have had the microphone on.
I don't think it was plugged in all the way. The connection on the bottom of it's really fucking loose. And I hate it.
Because that microphone's a little more sensitive than the ones we usually use. So I thought I was just getting some room noise, but now you sound a lot better, man. Hell yeah.
Thank God. So we got to restart this shit.
Good day, Galaxy. So you drank your beer. You're not pouring it out? No glass? Come on, man.
I don't have I don't own any glasses. It comes in its own glass. So it is a lot heavier than I expected for how light in alcohol it is. Pugilist. I don't know. I can taste the bits of Pugil. So
Sounds like a Star Wars character. Yeah. Brewed from bits of real Pugil. That's how I know it's good.
No, this is a very drinkable beer. It's a bit darker than I expected, and it's out of Philadelphia. So hang on.
Yeah. I grabbed the Bell's Amber. Which
Bell's
way?
is always good.
Now you got your face is in my screen now. I don't know where to hold the beer bottle at.
Angles.
Bell's is always good. I don't think I've had a bad beer from them. I think we talked about that before. Can't wait for the Midwestern Pale to come back out here in a few weeks as we get closer to autumn. But this is just their amber ale. It's just a regular American amber, 5.8% alcohol. By volume, it's fresh. It's really good. No complaints. It's an amber. There's not anything like crazy about it. It's just your standard amber ale, and I like it.
Standard Pugilist.
It's not standard.
Pugilist. I hate this beer.
There's an item in Skyrim called Pugilist gloves. That's where I've heard that word before.
Pugilist.
Pugilist. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's real. I'm looking it up.
I give up.
Pugilist
look it up.
gloves. Done.
This says it has knockout flavor. Well, I don't know if that's good or not. Brewed and bottled in a city of brotherly love.
Gloves of the Pugilist. Yeah, from Skyrim. Yeah, a pair of
what do they do? What's the upgrade?
Fur gauntlets. Let's see. I'll click on the button. I'll tell you.
Plus then ABV.
Oh, you get them in the rat way under Riften.
You just get hammered all the time
when you're trying to find that Esbern bastard. Let's see. Fortify unarmed, which makes sense.
Low key, that is one of my least favorite parts of the whole game.
Is the main quest?
Is the main quest just in Riften? I hate, and even though I love the sneak skill and I use it pretty much in every battle.
Yeah, I
hate that whole underground. It's just, come on. I wish I could skip that.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, so Pugilist. It's real. I found it.
So it's plus 10 warmth to your hands while you drink your beer. Your beer stays cold and Pugil.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm digging this amber, man. So somebody did shout at us on Twitter. I can't remember who. I think it was Brian Shannon. He's always yelling at us. He said that we should sign up for one of those subscription boxes for craft beer and just sign up at the same time for the same plan, and we'll both get, hopefully, I would assume, the same beer or selection of beers every week or every month, and then we can just review those.
What, I mean, is it like a monthly fee you have to pay?
Yeah, and then they just send you a certain amount every month, like fucking Blue Apron or that, Loot Crate or whatever the hell those other ones are.
Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage.
Luke Cage beer.
I had to stop watching Iron Fist, and I tweeted this, and I said the show is not very good, but it did really get me interested in the character of Iron Fist. So I kind of want to get some comics. I listened to a few podcasts about the character and his origins from the actual comic series, but I had to stop watching the show. It just it got goofy as hell. It's just cheesy.
I don't know why you haven't started Stranger Things. It's like fucking 8 episodes long, and it's so easy to watch.
I literally almost did last night. I scrolled through Netflix and I was like, yeah.
You could bust that out. You could bust that out in a week. A good long week. You could bust that out. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, an 8-day week.
Exactly. Yeah. So I haven't been doing anything. I booted up my internet, which has been great when it works, but for whatever reason, like every hour, it'll just like turn off and then go back on.
Oh, you gotta call them motherfuckers about that. You can't have it in a Battlefield match.
I had to go out and buy a modem and router all in one, because whatever Xfinity or Comcast was going to charge me like $10 a month to use their modem. I was like, how about you go fuck yourself and I'll go buy my own goddamn modem.
You could buy a better modem anyways.
Well, and I low-key thought, Loki. I thought
fucking around in Valhalla right now.
In the HoloNet. I thought that the wireless router that I had would work, but I literally had to try to plug in an aux cable in the back of it, and I didn't have a port, so I had to go out and get one. So
damn.
But I mean, it's fine. I mean, going forward, I'll just have one machine, one fucking electronic that'll handle it all. So
we got Apeiron motherfuckers here in the chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Yelling at me for not seeing Stranger Things. I'm sorry, Digital Cowboy.
Exactly.
Sorry, man.
When are we going to be the
Stars.
schlummies on Terrace?
Yeah, how close is that game to coming out? I might be dead by 2020, man. I can't wait that long.
I can't wait that long.
Gotta get that shit cracking, man. We're talking about Apeiron KOTOR. They've been on the show before, and we've raved about them before. Go check them out. They are remaking the greatest game of all time in new awesome graphics and a bunch of awesome goodness. KOTOR, yeah. So Apeiron, Apeiron, KOTOR on Twitter. And
Ape Iron.
Yeah, literally Ape Iron. The best. You guys stick to making games because you cannot come up with titles of things.
God, making fun of them.
No, we love them. Go check them out. But yeah, they promised us a cameo in the game, so
I want to. The only other cameo, we can be the Schlummy Drunks on Terrace, and then I want to show up in the fields of Dantooine, just passed out in the flowing wheat fields. Like you'll just come across my body, and there's just beer cans all around.
Calf hounds just like picking at your face.
Exactly. That'll be perfect. That's all I want.
That's all we need. Oh man. Well, shit. So if anybody didn't know, Mopar's in motherfucking. Where you at? New Jersey now?
New Jersey.
Maine?
No, I'll be in New Jersey tomorrow, but I'm in home. I'm at home. I'm around the house.
Where's your new home? Durangus is what I was going
the
for.
United States of Duranguses. It's right next to the Pugalis County of.
Seven
I'm right
Kingdoms?
between. It's called Marietta, Pennsylvania. So it's a really, really small thing on a big, big river.
Near Harrisburg, right?
About a half hour away from Harrisburg.
So Mopar's in Pennsylvania now. Our neighbors to the west, to the east.
Pennsylvania, yeah, to the east.
That's why I thought you were in New Jersey for a second.
Well, I told you I was going to be in New Jersey tomorrow. I'll be in New Jersey tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So I just subconsciously ruined everything. All right. Yeah. So this is our first fucking Skype thing.
Well, great day, Galaxy. Let's get into this, the entertainment daily shit.
Star Wars first or Thrones first?
What's that?
Star Wars first or Thrones first?
Well, let's spoil some Thrones first. We're gonna make the peeps wait for Star Wars shit.
Star Wars.
So we haven't really talked about Game of Thrones at all.
No, we haven't touched it at all. So we're 5 episodes in now.
Yeah. So what's your immediate thoughts of this season?
It's been great. Episode 3 was weak, but everything else has been really, really great. I think they've done a good job in pushing the storyline along and also bringing back old elements and reminding us of some of the old storylines that started like in season 1. Having that preview at the beginning of the episode, like previously on Game of Thrones, really helps because there's obviously anyone knows there's so much shit in Thrones. It's so hard to follow, and the pace of like season 1 and 2 was gradual and kind of following just a few houses, and now we're going so quick, and there's so many things that we have to keep track of all across like Westeros and Essos, and that's lovely. So they're doing a good job of keeping the pace and not rushing through things. The only complaint I have is like season 3 or episode 3.
Episode 3.
Just it seemed kind of slow.
I wasn't even upset about any of them. The biggest thing about this season is finally we've had 6 seasons of everybody's going their own way, and finally we have everybody coming together. Especially in Windhelm or Winterfell or Wonderlust. What the fuck's the one? King of the North.
Winterfell.
Winterfell.
We do this every time. You're just mixing up Skyrim and.
I know. I always default to Skyrim.
I blame Bethesda for that. I mean, they kind of just took the name.
Yeah, Windhelm, Winterfell. Okay, but now that we have like the Hound, we have Jon Snow.
Yeah.
We've got Tyrion. Tyrion's not there yet, right?
He's not with them right now.
Who's going north of the wall right now?
So you got all right, yeah. So this was like one of the coolest reunions ever. I was so happy. You got the Brotherhood, some people from the Brotherhood. So Thoros and Beric, who has the flaming sword, and you got the Hound. You got the Wildlings led by Tormund, who's one of my favorite characters. Jon Snow's there. Jorah is back and healed, back in the Queen's service. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters. And then you have Gendry, who was one of the coolest comebacks in season 7. Like him back in the forge, and then he busted out that hammer, and I was like, dude, that is so Robert's son. Because anyone that knows, like Robert, that was his weapon of choice, was the Warhammer, and he was just a badass, man.
And I loved how he just blatantly was just like, I'm a Baratheon. I hate Jon. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, it's perfect because they're so similar.
Yeah. And it was cool that they, their first encounter with each other, they kind of like went back and forth and like, what's the best way to say that?
Trying to get a feel for each other?
Well, yeah, I guess they were kind of feeling each other out, feeling each other up. But they went back and forth and like made fun of each other a little bit, and I was just like, that's just like their fathers. Like they would just say one thing, the other guy's just like, hey, you fucking fat fuck you, and just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I did like that kind of the banter back and forth, even within the first
meeting.
First meeting. So
dingle the bell when you take a sip. It's cool because Gendry has come from nothing and knew that he was the bastard son of a king for so short a time, and like it means something to him, but he still doesn't have like any arrogance or any pride or anything like that. He's just laying the shit out for Jon Snow so he can be completely honest from like day one.
One of my favorite things of all time, and it's clear, I think everybody's like top 3 characters in Game of Thrones. One of them's got to be Jon Snow, because he like does no wrong. He's the bastard son.
Of course.
So he's easily top 3 for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But I absolutely loved when Jon Snow was trying to leave, trying to go back home, and Khaleesi was just like, I didn't allow you to leave. I haven't allowed you to leave yet. And he's like, listen, I'm a king too, so fuck off. I'm pretty sure that was a quote, but it was just like a backhand. He's just like, listen, I'm a king.
Need permission.
I don't need your permission.
Yeah.
And just walk the fuck out. I'm like, God damn right, Jon Snow.
And then she totally respected him for that. And then they talked right before he left. And dude, I think they're gonna hook up.
So
Daenerys was giving him the Khal Drogo eyes when he was getting ready to leave.
The Khal Drogo. They bagged me. So the smallest little thing, and I actually had to watch a video about this to completely understand it. So Sam, right? His name's Sam. His maester.
Samwell.
His wife mentioned something in a book.
Yeah.
Before he left.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah, that flew over my head, and when I watched the video, I was just like, "Oh shit!" That was like the giveaway that Jon Snow is a Targaryen,
guaranteed.
So
confirming Bran's vision.
Yeah, you probably know the names better, so go ahead and into the details of that.
So Gilly and Sam are just chilling at the end of the day, and she's just reading a bunch of books because she's bored as hell. because Maesters don't allow women in the Citadel, so she's bored. And she says something about an annulment, and then she's reading an old Maester's scroll or book, whatever, and she says, this Maester gave an annulment to Rhaegar Targaryen and his wife in Dorne and remarried him in secret. So if anybody remembers, obviously Rhaegar Targaryen was married to Elia Martell from Dorne, didn't love her. He wanted Lyanna Stark, which everybody knows from
Eddard's sister,
and from Bran's vision in the end of season 6, that's who gives birth to Jon Snow. So Jon is a Stark and Targaryen, obviously, but now we have Bran's vision confirmed from a Maester's records in the books, which is pretty crazy.
So that confirms what? That Jon Snow is a Targaryen and a Stark.
Oh, I know what it is. Sorry, I slightly skipped over something. We knew that he was born from Rhaegar and Lyanna, but the remarrying and the annulment of like the marriage with Elia in Dorne, I think, proves that now he's not a bastard Stark. He's an actual true-born Targaryen. Like, if they officially got married, Lyanna and Rhaegar, and then she gave birth to Jon Snow, then he's not an actual bastard. He's literally a Targaryen now.
Well, and that's why when we were talking earlier, well, I sent that in the group text that he embodies fire and ice. He's a Stark and a Targaryen.
Yeah.
So, and he's obviously the bloodline of both, and that's why he was able to walk straight up to that fucking dragon and pet it on its gullet. That's when Dany looked down and was like, I'm the only one. I'm the only one that should be able to pet my dragons. So I wonder if we try to light Jon Snow on fire, if he would melt, or if he would come walking out and he could be the uncle of dragons.
Digital Cowboy said there's a fan theory that Gilly, since she's there at the Citadel with Sam and is reading all this shit and is very smart, that she'll be like the first female Maester in Westeros. That'd be pretty cool.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
They're pretty cool. They may not throw stuff like that in. I mean, they can't get too detailed. Like, we only have 2 episodes left of season 7, and then season 8 is only supposed to be 4, I think, or 5 episodes long. Like, shit, man, it's not. We don't have that much left. Yeah. So obviously, Jon Snow is the big thing. Arya and her little training duel with Brienne was one of the coolest fucking things ever. We've been waiting for Arya to be in the action. Obviously, she's been in the middle of everything, but she was getting shit on for so long, and then was training with the Faceless Men for so long, and now
Arya,
she
started the whole season with the most badass thing ever. She walked right in and murdered an entire family.
That's true. I guess maybe I was thinking about seeing her like in an actual sword fight, or like in action, as opposed to sneaking and
she's come full circle, because remember the first season her dad hid that like fake wooden shit, or no, it was needle. He like hid it and tried to take it from her, and then he finally hired that
Sidio Forel.
Yes. So it's cool to see her like start training there and then come full circle into taking on the most badass people and easily like fucking them up. So
although she's getting played by Littlefinger, which we saw in this last episode, which is unfortunate, but I also makes sense because, she's still young.
That makes me mad. I don't think they should give that much power to Littlefinger.
Dude, he's been doing that for like 40 years.
I know, but it's still like he has to be special somehow. Like, well, how do you just know everything? Oh, I've got little birdies. Well, you could also shut the fuck up and change your clothes. I don't understand. Like everybody else, they show how they figure stuff out. They show how they get the details or how they get the information.
Yeah, they can't
he
do
just walks around and just knows everything, and then walks the fuck out, and everything burns down, and then he does that little stupid smirk, and I hope he dies.
I mean, I didn't want Arya to be duped by him or anybody, but it makes sense. I mean, he is like the plotting side of what Arya has learned. He's been doing that his whole life.
Now, I wonder if I can never remember his name. Varys. Yeah. Varys and Littlefinger. I wonder if they'll meet here real soon, because it seems like Dany might end up in the north regardless to help out little Johnny Flurries. So, yeah, I wonder if they'll meet up and how that'll go.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And speaking of Littlefinger and old shit that he said, Bran busting out mad quotes, dude. Bran was being a badass in episode 4, I think it was. Littlefinger's trying to talk shit, and anybody that's seen Bran this season knows he's just staring off in the distance, not talking, barely. He's not Bran anymore, which is what he said. He's like, Bran's gone. He's the three-eyed raven now. Littlefinger tried to talk some shit, give him the dagger, and then Bran's like, chaos is a ladder, dude. I saw that conversation. You better pay attention, dude. Which it's awesome, but I'm also like, Bran, why don't you tell everybody everything? Like, you know so much shit. Like, just spill it out or just write a scroll. I know he sent the letter to the Maesters, but still, man, he has so much stuff that's just in his head. Like, spill that out. That would, like...
That's very true, because I feel like Jon would listen to him.
Well, that would, like, change the course of what they're in the middle of doing. Yeah.
Well, we just saw him send, like, 30 pigeons over the wall, and they all saw the fucking Walking Dead, so... we'll see what happens with that.
The Ice Walking Dead.
The Ice Walk, yeah. The Night King. Yeah. And this has been building. I mean, the whole thing's the winter is coming, and now it's here. So, but, yeah. Well, so tell me if you know, when we're talking about since Jon Snow, since winter came, well, it's been, 100 years or whatever since winter had come. Were they referring to the White Walkers as the winter back then as well?
No, because the White Walkers don't come every single winter. Okay. I don't know exactly what triggered them to come back. I don't know. I forget that part from the book if it was explained, but I don't really remember. So I don't want to sound like a Nengus.
But because it's so symbolic in this series with winter coming, and it like winter is already here. It's cold and everything, but winter's still coming. It's the White Walkers as winter.
Yeah, I mean that could be something that Ned always meant with the Stark words, is that obviously winter is coming eventually no matter what, but winter in terms of some fucking dank darkness is coming too. So pay attention.
I wonder how, and Tommy Boy brought this up, are they still going to go gung-ho and try to get a White Walker to Cersei? Because that seems a fucking long stretch. What are they going to do? Like, put them in that... So. Put them in that, like... what was it?
A cage.
A cage. Like the Hulk cage from... I don't know.
I don't know where you're going with the Hulk cage.
I'm staying right here with it, so...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was the last, like, third or fourth of episode 5 is them deciding to do that, and then Jon Snow goes up and meets up with my favorite characters ever, and then starts to go north of the wall. I don't think they're going to actually go to King's Landing, because I feel like Cersei would have something planned and just like ambush them, even if she agreed to meet. I feel like maybe they'll arrange like a neutral meeting place somewhere.
You know what would actually be cool, and probably not as cool as I'm making it sound because I'm thinking it up right now, is if everybody started realizing that winter is coming, the White Walkers are real, and they just got up and left and went to the north to go help, and Cersei was left in King's Landing by herself to like fend for herself. Now you rule over nobody.
Yeah.
Because everybody's up there fighting for their own lives. That'd be interesting. She'd probably be all right with that.
Dude, I don't know. When I thought about the lineups at the end of season 6, I didn't think that Cersei and the Lannisters had like a chance at all. I didn't think they were going to be able to do anything.
Well, Yerlin Greymane, or whatever the fuck his name was, came with those ships from the Iron Islands and fucked half of everything
I
up.
did not expect that.
Dude, that was the biggest blow to Dany.
That was, and I didn't expect that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it just does prove how ruthless he is and how amazing the Greyjoys are at sea warfare and shit. But it just seemed like almost everybody turned on the Lannisters by the end of season 6. So, like, I didn't think that they were going to have a chance in hell. And she seems to be doing, I mean, decent. She was winning until the end of episode 4 when Dany rolled in with the dragon and just lit everybody on fire.
Well, she's doing all the right things. You know, Lannisters always had money, and as soon as they ran out, she made a move and then got all the Tyrells or Martells money.
No, the Tyrells, yeah.
I mean, that's the perfect move.
Yeah.
they baited and switched. You know, we're going to be over here in Casterly Rock, but by the way, no, we're not, and we're going to be over here taking money back and paying our debts. And
Dick Dastardly Rock.
Dick Dastardly, yes. I have to bring this up because we always laugh about a long time. This is going way on a tangent. A long time ago, Commander and I made a long trip down to South Carolina, and we came across this road called
Where did this come from?
I'm getting to it. Ashley Phosphate Road, which makes no fucking sense. A name, a fucking mineral. What the fuck? Ashley Phosphate Road. We were laughing our asses off. So locally, we were driving around, and I saw this street road named Boulevard Avenue, and I couldn't stop laughing to myself because it's called Stony Battery. I was like, that makes no fucking. It's Stony Battery Road. I'm like this. Who's naming this shit? I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Stony Battery.
Drunk asses are naming it.
Drunk Asses Boulevard. I did. Tangent over.
Ashley Phosphate Road. Wow, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Okay, so I do have something to show everybody. Right. So since I moved across the goddamn galaxy, I was able to collect all of my things, and I went through all of my holograms, and I found some excellent shit here. So from our childhood...
Yeah, you kept all your shit. I didn't.
Not only Pokemon cards were big, but these things were big.
Oh! Dude.
And I've got all of this shit, man. I got fucking Odie Mandrell. I've got Padme. I've got Sith Infodix. I got it all. And you know what's funny is because it came. These are all episode 1 things. So what was big in episode 1? Fucking pod racers. So I got holographic fucking pod racer things.
I'm jealous. That's so awesome, man.
Odie Mandrell and shit. And then I've got actually Darth Maul's lightsaber in holographic, and Watto.
That's so sweet.
But I found this whole fucking Stanky and Bullwinkle. What the fuck are they called? Rocky and Bullwinkle case, and I was like, what the fuck is in this? So this is what I hid it in when I was fucking 14. I was like, this is gonna be a perfect spot for it. And I opened it up, and it's all my old Star Wars cards.
That's awesome. Dragon Order Gaming wants to know, where's your Ben Quadraneros card?
It's in there. I got it.
Yeah,
I got them all.
Yeah,
I was super excited because I remember specifically one Christmas, I asked for these cards, and my mom got me 2 booster packs. Which, if you know anything about those cards, 2 booster packs is like maybe 20 cards because you get 10 or maybe 8 cards per booster, so it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bummed about it, but I'm like, all right, we'll see what's in these. And I opened up the 2 booster packs, and it ended up being Darth Maul and holographic Darth Maul's lightsaber. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It couldn't get any better.
And it's like you need those 2 to work together. It's like the perfect combo, too, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
dude, those cards are sweet, man.
Yeah, these are not in good condition compared to... I still have my whole Pokemon set from my early child's life.
Yeah, I don't have much at all.
Those are pristine. I don't fuck around with those things. Which another rant. So I was watching what is it? Pawn Stars. Did you see? Because it was on Facebook. A guy walked into Pawn Stars and talked to the main guy, Rick, who's an older guy. He brought in this whole Pokemon collection, and it ended up being just like 200 Charizards of all different types, but they were all Charizards, holographic Charizards.
Great.
And Rick, obviously being like 50, has no fucking clue. So he called in his toy boy guy, and the guy was like, "Yeah, this is estimated value about 380,000."
What?
Yeah,
that's so.
And
ridiculous.
It was like 200 Charizards, but there was like Chinese ones and Japanese ones, and then like special edition, first edition, a bunch of different stuff. But I'm like 380,000.
That's so ridiculous,
that's
dude.
Fucking nuts. So that's why.
How much did he give him for? Like 85,000?
No, he didn't even. He said, I don't know anything about it. I don't know who to sell these to, and I don't know nothing about it, so I can't buy it.
That makes sense.
And so, yeah,
that's a ridiculous amount of money for like little cardboard.
Yeah, little pieces of paper.
How the hell did that kind of shit get so popular? like collectibles,
Dude,
stamps,
and
and then
we-
baseball cards, and then like Pokemon.
Yeah, we got into it at the perfect time too. So that's why when I look back and I look at my collection, I have the whole first base set, and it's kind of funny to like be proud of. But we got in it at the perfect time, and when I look back at it, I've got the whole first set, and it's just like, dude, that's actually worth something. So
Yeah. If you ever, once you have a child, or if you ever need to buy a house or some shit, just take your binder into what was that? What was that jank ass card shop in like Painesville Commons with that really awkward old guy with like the 80s mullet?
Yeah, he's like, Victory Bell, $15. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What was his name? Like Dave or something? Like Dave's card
I
shop
don't-
or something fucking weird like that.
Horace, I don't know.
Horace, no, it was like Dave or Jim's card shop. He was a
Yeah,
he was a
because he
creeper.
had. I remember. No, because there was a music store in front of it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff became wildly popular. But if you got in it at a right time, we were the perfect age.
Oh, dude.
We
Yeah.
were the perfect age for it. And even going back, because they're still making the same goddamn game with different colors. The Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow,
new
Blue,
Pokemon.
highlighter color, clear. It's all the same fucking game.
So I came to terms with something about myself recently.
Uh-oh.
Because I was thinking about Pokemon. I don't know how it came up, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, there aren't any Pokemon past 151. Fuck all these new Pokemon. They're stupid. This is bullshit.
It
And I was
doesn't
like,
make any sense that they're going to make like 4 seasons around 150 Pokemon and then just be like, by the way, there's 19 other continents and there's a billion other Pokemon
that part
that
is
you've never
kind of
seen.
silly. Yes, but I was thinking, man, I sound like all the old grumpy assholes that don't like The Force Awakens or the prequels. And then I kind of got sad at myself.
Yeah, but that still doesn't make sense. And how are we going to have a million Pikachu running around and then someone just say, by the way, there's something before it's called Pichu, but it's never existed.
It's lived somewhere on the other side of the world this whole time. Like
That
it gave
doesn't
birth
even-
to 1,000 Pikachus, and then they all just came over to a different fucking island.
Yeah. Like the prequels and the original trilogy still mesh with each other. They still
No, I know.
make sense.
I know.
This Pokemon shit's just like, oh, by the way, another 900,000 of them. Like, this one's a tin can. It's called Tin Can Mon. It holds shit.
Yeah, I sounded like a grumpy old man for a second. And I was like, ah, shit. Now I know what it feels like on the other side. Now I get it.
Well, maybe you can play as the ice cream Pokemon and see what happens.
Maybe I like the Keymon.
The Keymon.
The key ring guy.
Keychain guy. I don't even know. Yeah. I'll be the grumpy old guy for that one still.
Digital Cowboy says your Pokemon collection is Count Dooku money.
Dooku.
Richest
Count
man-
Dooku money.
Richest motherfucker in the galaxy.
Hey, down payment on anything.
Pablo Hidalgo, if anybody that's listening knows who that is, they do. He's in charge. He's in charge of like the Star Wars canon stuff. Wait, stop! My phone's not working. He tweeted something. Somebody asked him about Snoke. He said, "Is Snoke human?" And Pablo Hidalgo said he is not human.
Ooh.
Seemed kind of simple, but I was like, wait, so he's not a human? So like, where is that leading us? And then I tried to respond, and I was like, do you mean that literally or figuratively? And he just said yes.
Perfect.
It's a perfect way to get me to buy like your Last Jedi visual dictionary because now I don't know the answer. Oh, man.
But he put it out there that he's not human or like no longer human or
He just said I think somebody tweeted him asking a question and was like, is Snoke human or not? And he said he is not human. And I was like, is he not human like because he's evil and he's like an asshole, or is he literally a not human species?
he's more
Machine than man
machine
now.
now. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
wouldn't clarify. And I was like, well, fuck, man. Why you
I think
tweeting?
it would be cool if I'm still trying to like theorize around Snoke. Like maybe someone tried to poison him, maybe he was burned badly, just like Vader, maybe. I don't know.
I have a
Like
bad.
how would your face end up like that? He kind of looks like a mix between like a Kaminoan and a human. Like it was a bad clone or something.
Well, you posted that picture of him next to Chancellor Valorum. That's pretty close, man.
I know.
That's pretty
Yeah.
close. I don't know if we might never figure out who the fuck that guy is.
Yeah.
They may never explain it.
God, that would piss me off.
So, well, Ryan Johnson actually, he made a comment about that, and he's like, Snoke is there to serve a purpose in the story. If you think about the original trilogy and the Emperor, you didn't know anything about the Emperor at all until he showed up in 6, and even then, you really didn't know much except that he wanted to turn Luke to the dark side and make him his apprentice. Yeah. You didn't know the whole backstory. Like, he's there for that plot point until the prequels came along. So they may pull that shit with Snoke, and like they don't say anything, and then maybe we'll get a prequel, maybe we'll get a book like 5 years down the road or something.
See, I'd still like to go back movie by movie and figure out when do we learn what. Like in episode 4, Yoda doesn't exist, and the Sith don't exist, and the Emperor is only mentioned. You don't even see the fucker. Right. And I mean, there's so much that's involved that once we get to 5, like the bounty hunters don't even exist until 5.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that gets added in 5 and 6.
Well, you said
what the fuck did I say? Say it.
Bunch of bullshit. You said this about 4 a few episodes ago, how it's so narrow in its storyline. Like, it's literally what happens to these 3 people over the course of this day or 2. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then in 5, it expands way far beyond that. And we get different storylines, and then half of our characters go one way, half go the other, and we follow both of them. And it splits it open for a lot more ground to get covered. And if they follow the same kind of trajectory like they did, where The Force Awakens is kind of like episode 4, but new. And now if we're going to, we're focused on Rey and shit like that. And if we're going to move towards Last Jedi, and it's going to just blow it open in terms of like the scope of the galaxy and the First Order and the Resistance. Hopefully.
Well, if you think about it,
I can't think.
Episode 4 was just those 3 people. You followed through. And then 5, like you said, they split up. But they almost already did that because Rey takes off with Chewie at the end of 7. So she's already splitting off, and she's going to meet wise old Luke.
True. I mean, we know they're splitting, but yeah.
Ooh, I mean, their trajectory is Ewoks.
Man, I'm fucking excited for Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about some of this nonsense?
Yeah, let's do it. Rey and Luke.
So for a full scoop, go get the Entertainment Wankly shit, and you can read that, or go to the website and you can read all that. But, dude, we got some good stuff, man.
All right, continue it.
I think Luke is going to be as dark as we're hoping in this one. A few lines that I made note of from the articles. Luke is a broken man who would prefer to stay lost. He didn't want his lightsaber back when Rey showed up. He didn't want to be found. He's embarrassed, or he's like pissed about whatever happened, and he wanted to stay by himself on that fucking island. Leave me alone. I don't care. Even if you're my daughter, even if you're Obi-Wan's daughter, whatever the theory ends up being, get the hell out. I just want to sit here and be grumpy in my fucking robe, and that's it.
No, I think he was tainted by what he caused. He did a whole new Jedi Order, and then it fucking came crumbling down, and everybody he knew died outside of like Luke or outside of Leia and Han.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I can't. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to do it again and have more people die. So I'm just going to go, hang out on this furry Ireland rock.
Right.
So
yeah, and following up with that, he also says, Mark Hamill was saying that Luke is kind of upset that he did not live up to what was expected of him from like Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan yanked him off of this desert planet when he was 19 and expected big things of him. You're the last Jedi. You're the son of Anakin Skywalker. And Luke failed with Kylo Ren, and now he's like in exile for that reason.
But it's almost the same thing, because Obi-Wan, even though he was watching over Luke on Tatooine, he failed. Yeah. Anakin fell. He created Anakin for what he was, and he was a part of him falling to the dark side. And what ended up happening is your fucking Padawan went out and murdered everybody, including children and the goddamn, burger guy at the 50s bar down the street.
That's a parallel I never really thought of. Is between Obi-Wan and Luke. They're going through kind of the same thing.
Same exact thing, yeah.
Like Obi-Wan was supposed to bring up this kid Anakin to be a better version of a Jedi, or like the chosen one, or whatever he thought it was. He failed. He's in exile, and he's trying again with to push Luke on the right track. And now Luke messed up, and now maybe Rey's going to come train, and he's going to try to push Rey on the same track, make up for his old mistakes. You know what I mean? It kind of happens. That's like a dynamic.
I really see. I'm kind of conflicted because I don't think we're gonna see or hear direct like Force ghosts talking to people. I think the only reason we heard Obi-Wan and Yoda when Rey touched the lightsaber was their memories were kind of embedded in that item.
I think so. Yes.
I don't think like Obi-Wan's hanging around waiting to talk to Rey. I think that was the only path he had, like I'm gonna put a whisper of myself in this thing. That's all I got. I can't like come walking up and advise people what to fucking do.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the Force Ghost thing plays a big part in the original trilogy. So to say that we're not going to see that as if it's not possible, I don't think it's more of a question of is it possible or not. It's where did Obi-Wan and Yoda end up once Vader was turned back to the light? Were they like, hey, our purpose is done. Let's, commit fully and like fade out. We don't have to be ghosts anymore. We can be like
They ended up at the after party on Endor, and they were fucking getting blackout drunk, forgetting they were
hammered,
Jedi.
Man.
No, I think it's something like we kind of saw it with Ajunta Paul in KOTOR. They're even though they can still be Force ghosts, they kind of like wither away and become nothing, and then they like lose the will to be a Force ghost, and then they just disappear.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm not going to rule it out that we won't see any Force ghosts, but it's probably highly unlikely.
Listen, if a living thing can just lose the fucking will to live, then a fucking dead thing can also lose the will to fuck a space ghost across coast to coast or shit.
Well, they just don't even. Not that they lose the will, it's just they don't even have. Their purpose is done. Anakin's back.
We'll see.
We have something that Daisy Ridley was talking about too, is how Rey is so hopeful. This is a big change for Rey when she meets Luke, because Rey is overly hopeful. She lost her parents. She's always excited for what's going to come next. She's super eager to like get off Jakku and like learn this, like go on this journey. She really attaches to Han. But then she comes to Luke, which she thinks is like what she's been shooting for this whole time, and Luke's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So that totally like changes, like the cold reception just totally changes what she is usually hopeful for. And then it said something about it triggers back on her abandonment issues from childhood when she was left on Jakku.
Well, I'm trying to make a parallel with like another movie, like a super excited, hopeful fan of someone or something like that. And then they find them and it's just like, no, this is my actual life. And they're kind of half broken and they aren't who they were or something. I'm trying to make a parallel, but I can't really do it right now.
Yeah.
But it's...
I know what you mean.
And what you talked about there is because she's so hopeful, it reminds me of that scene in The Force Awakens when it's a map to Luke Skywalker, and then she like fucking looks at the camera and goes, Luke Skywalker. I thought he was a myth. So that makes me think that even while she was on Jakku, like she heard songs or some weird shit, or like read a fucking Jedi Bible and said something about Luke Skywalker in there. So I mean it's the same thing, and she
heard songs. All I can think of is some minstrel writing songs about Luke Skywalker, the fucking moisture farmer trying to get power converters that saves the galaxy.
It's like an old folk song that people just carry along with them.
Oh Jesus. Well, I'm thinking like the minstrels from Game of Thrones with their little lutes.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like strumming along.
One day he walked in here and, cut off a dude's hand.
Mark Hamill said a line in his interview. It's kind of split. People think that he just was being kind of like playful with the words that he chose, and some people are taking it seriously. He said, quote, Luke made a huge mistake in thinking that his nephew was the chosen one, so he invested everything he had in Kylo, much like Obi-Wan did with Luke. Literally a quote from Mark Hamill. And some people are saying, like, he just said the chosen one, like, just to relate it to, like, the other Star Wars movies. He didn't actually think that Kylo Ren was a new chosen one. But I don't know. I don't know if we can say for sure, man.
Chosen one from what?
He just said the chosen one. So like Anakin was the chosen one, but then he fucked it up, or maybe he didn't. We don't really know. And now there's room in the storyline for a new version of the chosen one.
So maybe he thought that Kylo was the chosen one in sense that he was going to be the one to bring the Jedi Order back, the one to reestablish everything. And maybe he was the strongest one.
Possible, yeah.
And then everything kind of came crashing down.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a last quote from this part of the series. We are going to see a lot of conflict in The Last Jedi.
That is the dumbest quote I've ever heard.
No, that's
Things
good.
happen.
It's good.
Guys, events will happen in the storyline.
There's a screenplay. How many chosen ones are there? Says Digital Cowboy. Yeah, it's a good question. I got into this with a few people that redoing the chosen one storyline would be like dumb, like how they made Starkiller Base like a Death Star, like they're just rehashing old shit. I don't think it's the worst idea. It could be something along the lines of there was a prophecy of the chosen one. Qui-Gon thought it was Anakin, and he was wrong. And because he was wrong, the galaxy got completely fucked for like 80 years.
Yeah.
And now the actual chosen one is Rey or is Kylo or whatever.
Well, but maybe it's the search for the chosen one that causes that. Like everyone's looking for this perfect thing, but you don't get it. No one's perfect, so stop trying to make a perfect Jedi. Of course, because you see what the fuck happens. Heads roll.
Yeah,
you know.
As soon as you put all that like trust and all that power into one person, it just goes wrong.
Well, especially, and I think we're downplaying one of the biggest things here is the book library that he has. He's found out some information about the Force, the Jedi, the Sith, any of it. Maybe they spawn from the same fuckers on the Rakadan, missing planet or whatever the fuck it's called, hidden planet.
It's legends.
I know, but still, I feel like he knows something that's about the greater force that has been lost over thousands of years because people don't even use books anymore.
Right. He's got like the last 6 books in the galaxy.
Yeah, and Harry Potter, and then there's like
Darth Bane.
Darth Bane.
He's reading the Book of the Sith.
He's got Drew Karpyshyn on the shelf.
This motherfucker set a fucking library on fire. What the hell am I gonna do?
Dude, I have to go on a rant real quick. So I was listening back to the Darth Bane book after he basically proclaims himself Darth Bane. So back in that day, it was a Dark Brotherhood, and everyone was Lords of the Sith. No one took claim as the name Darth because that was the ancient way, and they all failed and fuck that. Well, he talked to fucking Revan through a holocron and said basically, fuck you guys are weak. I'm going to become Darth Bane.
Yeah.
He goes against the Dark Brotherhood, which is like thousands of Sith. Well, quote Sith. They're just mean assholes. But his Blade Master trapped him on the hidden planet where the Rakata are. So Bane is sitting there meditating on Revan's words, and his Blade Master, his teacher, walks in and says, Bane, you need to come with me and or you will die. And he essentially crushed the guy with his mind and walked the fuck out. That's what I'm talking about. Darth Bane, make him canon. He crushed the guy with his mind. That was supposed to be his master like a week prior. He went in, fucking had a tea party with Revan's holocron, and then walked the fuck out, crushing his master with his mind.
That is the one unforgivable. For the new Disney Star Wars, that's the one unforgivable. I just feel like everything that happened before Phantom Menace could have just remained in place with no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit that actually happens. Well, the biggest one is like what happens to Luke, where he becomes like a god and like kills Thor. Remember that one? And then
he joins the Avengers.
He joins the Avengers. I think they had to do what they had to do. They had to clean the slate because they did have that like God Luke, and then you go back in time and there's some weird shit that happens. It's just like it can't be canon.
Yeah.
So
I understand. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get back
Pokemon thing and being pissed about stuff.
Yeah.
Well, another big thing was obviously Leia. People are wondering. This in the article was, I will say confirmed because it was official and it was in the article, confirmed by like Disney and Lucasfilm. Episode 9 is being rewritten out of respect for Carrie Fisher's passing. Leia will never appear on screen again.
Outside of what's already been filmed.
So she is ending her role as Leia in episode 8.
Well, that officially means she has to die in 8.
Doesn't necessarily mean she has to die in the movie. I think the first thing that after we heard about Carrie's passing, the first thing that we kind of thought of was maybe she dies after episode 8 and episode 9 just references back to her funeral or something like that.
That's gotta be it.
But it sounds like they're actually like rewriting stuff to make sense of it. But yeah, I mean, they're not going to do the CGI thing just out of respect. So that's good to hear.
That's ballsy because that's exactly what they did with Tarkin. What's the biggest difference? Just because she's more fresh and on our mind?
Well, that was 40 years, man.
I know, but it's still the same thing. They're doing the same thing.
Maybe.
I mean, I feel it. It's no one else is going to play Tarkin, and I'm glad they did that. And even though they had like a body double, they put the original, stuff over his face and stuff.
And he looked awesome. Everyone shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah. No one else is talking. It's just you and me, man. Your
Riley's
voices. Riley. Well.
No, so I'm glad they're not going to try to like CGI like old version of Leia or anything. But they talked about kind of her character base, and she's always, super on task. She's always like hardened. She's, in the middle of everything. Even though her son just killed her former husband, like even though all this shit's falling apart, her brother ran away.
Is that canon that they actually get married?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Just knocked her up and took off for the fucking Rathars. There's more money over there.
There better be a goddamn lot of Dateris in the Rathars for you to leave the Princess of Alderaan. No, I don't know, actually.
She's a princess of nothing. Alderaan doesn't even exist anymore.
Well, she was a former princess. There's 2 books about her, and there's a third one coming out. Bloodlines is focused on her. So it might be in there. I don't know. But yeah, so obviously talking about Leia, she's always, focused on the task at hand, even though she's lost almost everyone in her life, which is terribly sad. They did mention a bit about the Resistance, which is cool. The Resistance is separate from the Republic. It's not a government or anything.
I've already said that.
I know, but I was confused as fuck about the Resistance for a while.
It's the exact same thing as the Empire. The Empire is the government, and then you have the rebellion. It's just a
no,
fucking crazy.
You still have the Republic, and their support. The Resistance is supported by the Republic, or at least
no.
Yes.
Listen, the first time ever, and it was in that Plagueis book, which is not canon anymore, but they struggled because the Republic existed, but the Republic didn't have an army to enforce their own laws, and no one ever wanted that. So when you look at that, you have the government, and that's it. That's that is everything.
That's a Republic, yes.
But when you look at the New Republic, they also don't have an army.
Correct.
And now you have the Resistance, which is basically a bunch of wealthy people making guns and resisting
the
whatever.
First Order. Yeah,
the First Order.
I think maybe you mixed up your words, and I was confused, and I cussed at you anyways.
I don't mix up what my fucking word. I don't shit words.
Man. So the Resistance is separate from the Republic. It's fighting the First Order, and then obviously we saw the Republic get blown to smithereens in Episode 7. So now the Resistance is kind of on its own. There's no government backing them. They're kind of stuck, and they're isolated, and they're fighting the First Order, who still they lost Starkiller Base, but I mean, I don't know where the fuck they're getting their money, but
Starkiller Bases, for how everyone hated it because it was Death Star 3. It's astounding what it did. Like, okay, the first Death Star blew up Alderaan, the second Death Star blew up like a fucking Corellian ship, and that was it.
Well, it wasn't quite ready.
I know, but still, it's fully operational.
I guess it was, but he checked it out.
Death Star, well, and it was right at the end. The rebellion did catch them kind of off guard.
Yeah.
Whether it was operational or not, they weren't trying to fly anywhere and blow shit up yet.
Yeah.
But to blow up 6 or 7 planets in one fell swoop, including the Republic.
Well, the entire system, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because I think what essentially happened was the First Order found out that the Republic was built on one of those planets in the system. So it just went over there and blew all of them up. It wasn't even guessing.
Yeah.
It just said, fuck the whole system. We're good now.
Yeah.
The only thing I have question about is if they did blow up that whole system, how did Maz's planet live? Like, you still have to be in the system to see that shit, right?
That was the question I had too. I don't know if that's been hasn't been explained to me. Maybe it's in the novel or something. But yeah, I was like, in order to be able to see the attack on the other planets in your system, you kind of have to be in that system. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you'd be seeing it like light years afterwards. But it's also Star Wars, so there's not like legit physics going on.
So I stepped on my own toes because I told you how light speed worked, and then I thought about it, and then there's other instances where it works differently. So,
well, it's also Star Wars. They may not be taking the legit physics.
Right. But we look at episode 4 where they're going to Alderaan, and it looks like it takes like a week. That makes sense because it may take that physical long to fly there, but because they're flying light speed, it doesn't take any time to everybody else. It's instant for everybody else, but it took a week to fly there. Kind of hard to wrap your mind around that. But at the same
people
time,
in the Falcon were in there for a week.
And then everybody else outside of the Falcon, because they're working at normal speed of life, something flies by. For them. Yeah, just time didn't change.
Snap.
It's a blink. Yeah, but it still took those guys to even at the speed of light to go a week across, the galaxy.
That is pretty trippy.
But at the same time, there's people in X-Wings that fly into battle, and it's the next second. They show up into the battle ready to shoot shit, and then they fly in. But what are they doing? Taking naps in the X-Wing for a week?
Yeah, that's what I was pissed about, and that's the thing that brought it back up. Was one, Force Awakens feels like it all happens within a day and a half, and then two, we were watching Rogue One, and we were like, they just heard about this attack over here, and they're going to send the X-Wings from Yavin. But how long does it fucking take to get there, and how are they going to respond to an attack when they're across the different galaxy?
Yeah, it's instant. They hear about it. Yeah. Hey, this guy left, and he's going to go attack it. And then a minute later, they're there.
My mind's not big enough for that shit. Time to watch Interstellar again. Riley's here yelling about Interstellar. Yeah, it's time for me. I got to watch Interstellar again, man. That's one of my favorite movies. I don't have 4 hours
in my back pocket to watch Interstellar. It's a great movie. It takes so fucking long to watch Interstellar.
You just told me to watch Stranger Things. That's like 8 hours if you watch the whole thing.
Right. See?
Interstellar.
Interstellar's Stranger Things.
Last important thing about Leia and Carrie Fisher. So Leia is kind of acting like Poe is a surrogate son since Kylo's an evil motherfucker. And the main thing is that she's trying to train him to become a leader of the Resistance for when Leia dies or Leia is incapacitated or whatever the hell it is. So we're going to see some more goodness out of Poe, which is a good thing, I think. Instead of just being a hotshot pilot, he's going to try to, mature a little bit and run some things.
Which is crazy because he was supposed to die in the first one.
Yeah, back to a conversation we had a while back about the actors and the production team and the shit that happens on set influencing the actual storyline. Like, nothing's really set in the story until they're fucking done with the movie. Right. Because Poe's supposed to die and Oscar Isaac says, no, thank you. And then he lives and now the whole story's different. It's just in like a snap.
Yeah. Because Oscar Isaac Newton said every other, role that I've been in, I die immediately. So fuck you. I'm going to stay in this one because I like the role.
Imagine if Sean Ben tried to say that in Game of Thrones. It's like, Ned Stark's not dying. Fuck you, man. I'm sick of dying in all my movies.
You can't. I'm killing you off regardless. I'm actually going to kill you.
George R.R. Martin does not give a shit. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you have those pictures pulled up?
What pictures pulled up?
Mopper? The show notes with those pictures.
What show notes?
From The Last Jedi. The pictures from the next Star Wars movie. Star Wars, the thing.
No, I don't. I don't have them pulled up.
We'll grab them really quick.
Star Wars show notes.
That's like the last info.
Is it Entertainment Weekly?
Yeah, it's the last thing that we got to go over about what we just got last week was all these photographs. Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me.
Photos. Here we go. Force Awakens, right?
The first one, yeah, the first one.
I'm clicking on it. Jesus, hold on. Okay, exclusive new Star Wars. Ooh, okay. So I got a 5-cut thing. I got Leia in the middle. I got Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo around her.
Yeah.
And moving down, we got Pissed Off Rey. It says Daisy Ridley as Rey at the ruins of the first Jedi Temple. Yeah. Now, this also is really fucking confusing because they are exclaiming that this is a first Jedi Temple, yet Jeddah has been destroyed where all the fucking Jedi temples were and the remainder of the Jedi. Like the memory of the Jedi. So that's kind of confluxing.
Sounds like we have to read those novels about Chirrut and Baze.
Oh, also, I finished Battlefront 2's Inferno Squad.
Oh, really?
Yes, I completed it.
Nice. Well, let's wait until I complete it.
All right. And then the next one, we've got Rey with her 3-tribe bun bitch-having girl, and she's staring at Luke, who is like giving her a fucking glare right out of the temple here on top of that hill.
Yeah, he's pissed.
It says, can Rey save Luke from his own darkness? Oh, dude.
He's trying to take Jedi naps.
He's the grumpy old guy. He was looking at his old Pokemon collection, and then he just found out there's 700 more of them, and he's like, fuck this, I'm going over here. We've got the next one's going to be Finn and Rose, who is a new character for The Force Awakens.
People are excited about Rose.
She's supposed to be, what, an engineer or something?
I think so, yeah.
So we've got them just staring off into the distance like a bunch of creeps. Moving on, we've got Chewbacca and the Porgs, which I know we have the Ewoks, and I'm completely okay with like them existing. But the way they are showing these guys, the Porgs, they're making them like very prominent in like the storyline.
I think people on Twitter just love them, and now they're hearing pictures.
Well, I'm gonna make a Porg hub, and they go out there and watch them take their clothes off.
Kill all Giska. Yes, kill the Giska.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Ewoks. Like I'm completely okay with the Ewoks existing, but the fact that the Ewoks exist and took out the 501st pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
So this Porg better not save the fucking day, or I'm burning my house down.
Well, he's in the goddamn cockpit of the Falcon.
I know,
and Han.
I'm itching my gritches.
What if Han transmuted his soul into a Porg?
Timeout. So in the next one, they look like goddamn from the Dinosaurs 90s series, not the Mamas. If you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You got like Dinosaurs Nuns.
Yeah, Dinosaurs Nuns. It's called The Caretakers of Ahch-To.
Ahch-To, that's the island planet where Luke lives.
Luke's at?
Yeah.
He's got fucking maids that like fold his clothes and shit.
Sounds like it.
And they're dinosaurs?
Yeah, from the 90s.
Oh my god. Where's Portions? I like Portions now.
No,
and now we got
again Portions.
The Praetorian Guard, which everybody's been freaking out about because they do look like Lego bitches.
They do. They look 3D printed.
Yeah, they look terrible. I'm hoping they do at least cool things because they look terrible. Guys, they look terrible. They're all like the same color. Like even the Imperial Guards, they looked strong. These guys look like it's the same plastic that a Lego is made out of. That's what they look like.
I'm not on board.
It says molded on the Emperor's ceremonial watchmen from the Return of the Jedi. These crimson armored bodyguards are more like samurai. Well, you fucked up is what I'm saying, because they missed that's the one, like out of everything that Disney's done, this is one big thing that they really missed the mark on. But as far as design, because their ships have been awesome. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with them. Hopefully
I can't.
Yeah, it literally looks like a Lego guy walking in. Samurai Lego. The next picture, Entertainment, Kylo Ren. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren in retreat. So I'm assuming in retreat means he's going to be diving into his new fucking Kylo Ren class TIE fighter or whatever the fuck the thing's called. I'm excited for him to the silencer. And so we see here clearly they move the scar to the right like 2 inches because it's not because the first one it was like across his nose.
Yeah, that was brought up when they released the Battlefront 2 trailer at Celebration. Mm-hmm. People were like, Kylo Scar's moved. And Ryan was like, yeah, I look dumb and I moved it because I have a movie to shoot. And that was it.
That's super interesting that they would allow him to do that. And it obviously doesn't make any difference to the plot or anything. But so this is the weird thing. So like we said, the movie doesn't have a full plot. Like episode 7 is JJ's. Now episode 8's Ryan's. But if they can just move shit around and make things different, then why the fuck are we considering this like a continuation?
Well, he was trying to say it from like a cinematography standpoint. Like you saw Kylo with this scar at the end of 7 for like 5 seconds, and now you have to shoot a whole movie with this character being a main character. And if it doesn't look good, I mean, it's not that big of a change. And
why does he have to look good? He's an evil character.
Well, I don't care. They just decided because fucking they just did it.
I'm triggered.
And then he showed a pic of what the fucking Emperor looked like in episode 5 on the holo transmitter originally, like a deformed monkey. And then they changed it to look like Ian McDiarmid. It's not a big deal.
Do they expect George Lucas to come back in and fucking fix the scar?
I hope so.
And put a fucking wampa in front of his fucking face? All right, do back.
I hope so. I'm revolting against Disney.
The next picture is Oscar Isaac Newton as X-Wing ace Poe Dameron. He's looking to his right slightly with very perspirated.
Wait. We need to make something that says Edgar Allan Poe, Oscar Isaac Newton, like all one big fucking name.
I didn't even put that together.
Oscar Isaac Newton. Edgar Allan Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love Poe. I'm excited for him.
And like we were just talking about, he could have a much more prominent role in the Resistance. So
yeah.
Moving on, we've got John Boyega's Finn learning to fly because you need a pilot. I need a pilot.
Are they gonna play that fucking Pink Floyd song in the background while he's flying?
Yeah, bong. That's. We're moving on quickly.
Yeah, that's not a great shot.
Next shot is the Starfighter, the TIE silencer that we just referenced.
We saw that already, yeah.
Kylo Ren. Yeah, this is a full picture. And I think the one that we were looking at a couple episodes ago was zoomed in on just his thing. So we see TIE fighters around him shooting or getting shot. And it actually looks like the one next to him is getting blown up.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. He's going to have to...
I have a good feeling that Kylo is going to wreck shit in this movie.
He better, because he wrecked shit at the beginning of the last movie. So.
I know.
The next one, Casino at Canto Bight. I have no fucking clue what that is. It looks like a fun time.
So there's some cool casino shots that we've seen. Here is another design from the new Star Wars that I've absolutely fucking hated. Do you see these little speeder things that are parked out on like the edges of the structure with like those weird claws? They look like a fucking electronic measuring thing attached to a speeder in the middle. Like those are one of the worst looking ships that I've seen in Star Wars.
I wonder, it might
that's
make
like a police
more...
speeder or something.
They could be charging stations for like a Chevy Spark. We're moving on. For Tesla or something.
I fucking hope it is.
The Masters of the Last Jedi. So they have the producer, they have Ryan Johnson, and Kathleen Kennedy's in the picture. Through the goddamn useless rebellion glass fucking strategy fucking
green line maps.
Yeah, green line maps. That's the best thing. Moving on, we got Ryan Johnson, who is directing Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa.
I love that shot of Leia.
Leia looks like she means business.
Fucking pay attention to my shit.
Hey, listen up. And then we have the Star Wars Entertainment Weekly covers where we have Luke, who
Looking
just
like
looks
fucking
concerned,
Frodo Baggins.
and he needs some fucking made for men in his fucking beard or whatever the fuck thing's called. You get into.
I like his gray beard, man.
I love it too, but he just looks like an old bastard who hates all the Pokemon. And
Man, he should be.
and then we've got the Ray of Hope, Miss Daisy Ridley, who's going to carry us through the whole fucking series.
Can we talk about like one of the best casting choices in all of Star Wars history ever? Rey is like one of the coolest characters. I'm so excited to see like how her whole storyline rounds off, and like Daisy Ridley as an actress has just been fucking fantastic.
Yes, I agree. I have nothing bad to say about Daisy.
Nothing at all.
I really don't. Like, even if she was forced to say stupid lines, she didn't say them stupidly.
True.
Luke Skywalker. I thought he was a myth. Like, she could have really fucked that up. Luke Skywalker?
He was a myth.
He was a myth.
I think it's the last shot, right? Yeah.
That is the last shot that I'm looking at. We see her with Anakin's lightsaber, which
still hasn't been explained. Why does she have it? Why did it wake up for her? What the fuck?
Why did Maz have it? Yeah,
dude. That was another thing that was mentioned too, is that Maz is going to have notably less screen time than in Force Awakens, in which she already had very little screen time. So I don't know if we're going to find out about the lightsaber history in episode 8.
I bet she's gonna be tortured by Kylo, asking how the fuck did you get Anakin Skywalker's. Well, does Kylo know that it was his grandfather's lightsaber? Yeah, because he says that belongs to me. Yeah,
I got his helmet on. His lightsaber. Can't find his penis anywhere.
Now all I need is his cape to complete my collection.
Shit, man, dude. We've said this multiple times. I'm gonna repeat myself. I just don't give a shit. I may be the most excited for The Last Jedi as I've been for anything ever in history of nerddom and fandom and geekdom in my entire life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat, and the only reason I'm saying that is because when Revenge of the Sith came out, I wasn't so balls deep into Star Wars. This is a whole different level.
Yeah.
And Disney's playing it up perfectly. Mm-hmm. But I gotta say, Revenge of the Sith is way the fuck up there too, because
for sure
I was waiting for that.
I think Game of Thrones season 8 is gonna be close, because I don't know how the fuck this shit's gonna end. And Game of Thrones.
How many episodes do we have left?
2.
So they're doing 7,
and then 5, I think.
7 and 5.
I think I mentioned this, but Game of Thrones is quickly becoming my number 2. I think it is. After season 7, it's my number 2 like favorite fictional universe. Like, it's up there. It's right after Star Wars. And depending on how this season ends, dude, I think season 8, The Last Jedi, and then season 8 of Game of Thrones, I'm gonna be like, I can't not fucking hold my pants on for this shit.
We'll see, because Terminator 2 is second right now, right?
Terminator 2. Hey, man, it's the best Terminator movie. You better stop talking shit about it. Just because the dude's liquidated.
Liquidated. Oh, my God. He's on clearance. Yeah. I posted earlier our conversation about that, and everybody was freaking out about it. And actually, we had split. One person said, I like the first one better. And the other guy said, why is this even a question? The second one.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. So depends on what you're looking for when you watch the movie, I guess. So
it does. And I actually have been meaning to rewatch the fourth one, which was, it wasn't Terminator 4. There was another one with Christian Bale.
Revelation, something
like that. Yeah, I can't remember what that was, but I've been meaning to rewatch that one. And then we haven't seen Genesis at all. I still haven't watched that shit.
You know, I didn't even mind the third one. They really dragged the plot along, but I still watched it, and it was still like legit. So
yeah, it's not terrible. And the really cool thing about it, somewhat spoiler alert, is that what they're trying to prove with the third movie is that as you figure out what's going to happen in the second movie and try to change things, now you changed what you thought was going to happen, into something completely different. And then the third movie comes along and is in a whole different time era, obviously. And
Time
era. And again, it's the time travel thing that just fucks with your head. You can't keep it straight.
I think that's one of the new Pokemon is time traveling Pokemon. Time era.
Time travel Kimon. Because you don't know, like you think you know what's going to happen, so you try to change it, and by changing it, now you set on this whole new line of events, and now something even worse is going to happen further down the line, and then you got to come back and change that, and it just never ends. This goes on forever.
You know, I have to shit on the first 150 real quick because some of the stupid shit, they were so simple. Like Squirtle, he's a squirrel and a fucking turtle. Well, Beedrill, he's a fucking bee and a drill. All right,
he wasn't a squirrel and a turtle. He was a turtle.
No, that's what he was supposed to be, a squirrel and a turtle. Squirtle. Because he has that, like, fur, he has that
I think
tail
that's because
that, like,
he squirts
curls up.
water at people.
I believe not. I approached the thought differently.
He's 100% a turtle.
He's a squirrel turtle. Squirtle.
But I liked that they were simple in the first 150 because they were more similar to animals. So it was like, oh, it's just this like new fictional version of the animals that we already know.
Yeah. Arcanine, Fire Dog. I get it. Next.
Yes. He's one of my favorites. I like him.
Growlithe. Yeah.
Raleigh asked what you call the bottle openers. Sunday liquors?
Church keys.
He said Sunday liquors. You know what the name of this episode is, friends?
I already put the name of the episode.
What was it? You didn't put it anywhere.
Yeah, I put it in the Google Doc. Jon Snow, the Uncle of Dragons.
All right.
Time in.
And on that note, friends,
thank you guys for tuning in. Rogue Squadron Podcast. You guys can catch all of our stuff. And I do want to let you guys know, if you guys are listening right now, we have revamped our Patreon page. You guys can head on over there. We have to give a big shout out to Riley, who's listening live, who's helping us out a lot. We're going to try to keep this going as we are in separate fucking states, guys. So
this wasn't too bad.
Lightspeed does not exist, so I can't be there in 2 seconds yet.
The HoloNet is slightly delayed.
HoloNet.
In our transmissions.
So if you guys are enjoying the podcast, you guys can literally just send us a couple Dacteries and keep us up and running and, you know, keep us going. So we would appreciate that. What is it's patreon.com/bunch-of-dicks, right?
Yeah, dick bags. Every single thing that we have is Rogue Squad Pod. Everything. Every fucking thing. So just find us like you normally would. Just search that shit up. We would appreciate it. $1, $2, $5. Don't get crazy. We don't need much. Just something to cover the cost of the beers, you know. Or you can send us beer instead. That's fine, I guess.
The other thing, well, and I do want to let you guys know we have leftover stickers from a couple of our events.
Yes.
So if you guys are interested in receiving a handwritten note from Commander, because I ain't doing that shit. Fuck you.
Well, I sent a bunch out already. So the first batch that we talked about. So you guys already know. So we sent a full.
A fuck of what?
We sent a full batch out already. But if you want to get in on the next round, you haven't gotten any yet, or if you're new listening to this shit and you want a sticker, and just let us know. We'll get you some.
You guys can DM us on Instagram. That's one of the best ways. Or you can just email us your address, Rogue Squadron Podcast @gmail. You guys can. We'll send you our stickers and a bunch of other shit. And then what else we got? We got a bunch of shit. Our fanboy commentary, we referred to it earlier.
Yeah.
You guys can catch all of that, and we'll sync you up to all of our favorite Star Wars movies, as well as all the Batman movies from the 90s.
Yes, indeed. Also, don't forget to check out our friends at the Commonwealth, StarWarsCommonwealth.com, and hashtag SWC Pod on Twitter. A bunch of other shows that we're friendly with. Similar styles, bunch of awesome guys, some from England, some from Canada, some from the U.S. As foreign as we can get, but still speaking English. All the fucking Commonwealth people.
We need a couple Commonwealthers in Australia.
Yeah.
So I think that's the last corner.
So check them out. All the rest of the shows that are on there. Get some good Star Wars awesomeness in your life. If you're in Columbus, gear up for The Last Jedi. It's coming December. We'll keep you posted. Next thing. Force Friday. Force Friday is in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Wait, what?
Force Friday.
Yeah, and I know, but that's in 2 weeks already. 3 weeks.
It's always the first Friday in December, or first Friday in September. This beer's pretty good. First Friday in September. So I think it's September 1st or 2nd. But Friday night, so that means Jesus Christ. Yes,
Thursday night.
Friday. So Thursday night at midnight. Target and Toys R Us and I think a few other stores will open with all the new Star Wars stuff that a few irresponsible stores have already put on the shelves already by accident and is now on sale on eBay. But yeah, as happened with Force Awakens was a big event. Rogue One, not as huge, but it still happened. All the new Star Wars toys and things are going to come on sale. Hopefully some new Black Series things, some new Legos. So yeah, we'll be heading out to catch some of those things. See what happens. See if I can get that TIE silencer as a Lego set. Yeah.
Are we going to actually give our beers a rating?
We
want to do that as a final touch?
We can,
After I'm 4 deep in our room. Ready?
I'm not opposed to that. I'm 5 deep. The Bell's Amber Ale is what I had. Just like everything from Bell's, it's fucking delicious. I'm going to say 2 stars. Solid. Any beer fan should enjoy this beer.
My Yards Brewing Company, Brawler. Now that you said it's everything from Bell's is delicious, I'm going to give it a 2. This wasn't not delicious, but it's hard to. I wouldn't want to give it a 1. Pugilist, you bitch.
Everything from Bell's is good, but this isn't the Midwestern. It's not like the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? It's not the Two Hearted. It's not the Oberon. But it's a good, solid beer. I think it's well rounded enough that like a lot of different beer fans would enjoy the Amber. So, on a general ale scale, I'm gonna give it a 2 as well. Because this is surprisingly drinkable for how dark flavored it is, but it's still light in alcohol. So, nice.
2 out of 3 on the Yards Brewing Company. Nice. Brawler. So.
Riley is geek beyond hell that we're going to have 2 beer reviews every week. I don't know if that's actually going to happen every week, but we'll see.
It'll happen every day if
we can try to
Patreoning.
If we can try to sync them up, that'd be great, but we'll see. Oberon, he also asked about Bell's Oberon. That's a summer beer, so that already came out back in like May area.
Oberon is delicious.
It is delicious. I think it's still on shelves, but it's not going to be as fresh. And then we're moving into the beer world. The beer world's always like a month early in terms of when they put stuff out. So yeah, we're moving into Oktoberfest season, so we should be getting some fall beers here in the next two weeks. I got a drink.
Cheers. Thank you guys for tuning in, Rogue Squadron Podcast. I'm not going to plug anything else. I don't think we got anything fucking else. Oh, do you want to plug Drew Karpyshyn, Man on a Mission?
Under Suspicion?
Him. We did a quick interview. Actually, it's probably about 2 years ago now, but we are in the works, hopefully trying to get him back on.
Yeah.
He was limited with his previous projects that he was working on. So we are trying to get him back on, but a couple years ago we had him on prior to The Force Awakens. So we actually had good conversations about Mass Effect. KOTOR, obviously, his new book series, the Chaos books. Yeah, I did finish the first one. It's pretty good. I would recommend. It seems like a long story. The first one kind of just sets everything up and it solidifies everything. But then we had him answer our questions about what he thinks is going to happen in The Force Awakens, and he actually I forced him a question upon him and said, if someone's gonna die, who's gonna die? And he said Harrison. He said Han Solo's gone.
He's out,
so he also predicted the future on our podcast. So
once again, proves himself to be the smartest motherfucker ever. So.
Yep, and he should just write all of the rest of our lives. He can complete my story, and I'll just live it out. That's fine with me.
That's great.
So go over there, Drew Karpyshyn. It's like episode 100 and I don't know. I think it's interview 3.
Yeah, it's just Drew Karpyshyn. Just search him
Drew
up.
Karpyshyn. You can find that everywhere. So thank you guys for tuning in. Rogue Squadron Podcast. I am Opar.
I'm Commander Cody.
Do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You can't talk me into it.
That's fine.
Do it.
That's good.
Thanks, Riley, for tuning in.
Oh, yeah. So we'll have to watch back on this video and see how it looks. I have a bad feeling your video is like scattered.
But
So
I really, there's not a lot that I fucking do.
No, I mean, you really can't control it. I think it's just because
No, I'm just saying there's not even, I'm not even doing anything. I'm not looking at you making faces, so it's almost fine.
You're making some faces.
Well, I was making a lot of faces.
You're making a lot of faces, yeah. So we'll see how it looks, see if we can adjust it. But at the bare minimum, next week we'll try to have you record your audio on your own end and send it to me, and I'll sync it up, and it will sound better. Once you switch to the mic, it sounded good. But if you record it on your end without any like internet connection things, it will sound even better, and then I can sync it up for the audio version.
It must have happened pretty early on because this mic sounds great. The connector, it literally like can fall out. That's how loose it is. It's kind of weird.
It sounds better now. You should get, don't you have one of those little screens?
What was the question?
One of those screens for the mic, pop filter thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it sounds fine. I do get really close to it, and I feel like it can crackle.
It's just a
bit.
Puh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's what I was hearing earlier. So
yeah. So just use the screen next time. But I mean, I think it's as good as we're gonna get. It sounds good, man.
All right.
The audio sounds fine.
All right. Okay.
All right, Riley. I think you and Digital Cowboy are the last people in here. So,
the two best people around.
He said it looks nice, no lag. Yeah. Now that I stopped the recording and I'm just playing the thing, no lag. Oh, I have a solution. Oh, I think I have a workaround for no lag. We'll see. See if I can do it.
Digital Cowboy should just digitalize our fucking podcast and just make our schlummy faces do whatever the fuck he wants. So
I'm still waiting for that beautiful moment where we're going to be in a game.
Hey, Mopar, you're hammered. You're right, Schlummy. You want to fight?
Yeah, Digital Cowboy. He's. I don't know. I think it's just my video plus the Skype video plus the internet connection. It's just like out of sync. So, but we'll see if we can get it figured out for next week. And thanks, guys, and fuck around. That's it.
Okay, that's it.